Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. It is March already and it's time for another 10 movies for you to check out this month. I hope you find something here that you really enjoy. So let's get started and dive into this top 10. Number 10, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Set 1,000 years from now, the earth is ravaged by pollution and war. In the Valley of the Wind lives Nausicaa, princess of her people. Their land borders on a toxic jungle filled with dangerous, oversized insects. Meanwhile, two nearby nations are bitterly engaged in a war, and the Valley of the Wind is stuck in the middle. Hayao Miyazaki's first movie and an absolutely outstanding movie, Nausicaa, is something really special, filled with wonderful animation. It has a lot more than just that. It's got this fantastic character at the heart of it, filled with amazing characters round about them. The two warring factions are both fascinating and anger-inducing in their constant striving for destruction. And Nausicaa herself, in the middle, trying to deal with these two is just wonderful. The look of the monsters and the ideal behind this environmentalist movie is just perfect. Number 9, Thunder Road. A police officer faces a personal meltdown following a divorce and the death of his mother. Jim Arnold, a police officer in Texas town, always tries to do the right thing, but he has more often than not done the wrong thing, resulting in having less than a perfect life. I really like Jim Cummings. He writes, directs, stars in this one, and he gives this really wonderful performance of a man in the middle of a nervous breakdown, who also happens to be a police officer and his inability to do his job because of his personal life. I think it's nuanced, it's perfectly acted, it's incredibly funny and endearing, and is one of the most bitterly laugh out loud moments I've ever seen in cinema, where there's a moment where Jim has to slap somebody. I won't say any more than that, but this is a movie that is just kind of tough and cringy to watch because it's so real in the way that it's made. Number 8, Good Time. Following a botched bank robbery, Connie Nikas and his younger, mentally challenged brother Nick are separated, with Nick being apprehended. To pay his brother's $75,000 bail, Connie traverses New York's underworld across one long night, stopping at nothing to complete his goal. Robert Pattinson is a revelation in this movie, and I love movies that take their time over one night in a rushed situation trying to get to a goal, and as he constantly finds time ticking away, he gets more stressed and more desperate until the thrilling conclusion of this movie. There is surprises galore in this wonderfully acted, superbly directed movie that is just, it's one of those ones that you won't forget when you sit down and watch it. Number 7, The Overnight. Alex, Emily and their son RJ are new to LA. A chance meeting at the park introduces them to the mysterious Kurt, Charlotte and Max. A family playdate becomes increasingly interesting as the night goes on. The Overnight's a really fun and twisted movie. It's a comedy. A black comedy at the heart of it as well. This one is riotously funny and extremely uncomfortable in several moments. There is wonderful performances on board here. There are several laugh out loud moments, and this is a real oddity that's not to be missed. Number 6, Snakes on a Plane. Neville Flynn escorts a witness onto a plane headed for LA. Problem is, an assassin bent on killing the witness has released a crate containing about 450 deadly snakes. When Neville finds out, he's determined to do his job and get the snakes back where they belong, on land, or in snake heaven, wherever they'd be harmless. Samuel L. Jackson stars in this movie, which you don't really need much of a plot on. It's in the title. There are snakes on a plane. It's incredibly silly, but rather fun and very playful, and I like that, and plenty of creepy scenes of snakes crawling up on unsuspecting people and striking. It just makes me wince. Kind of like snakes, but that just makes me kind of claw my skin watching these snakes attack. It's ridiculous, it's over the top, it's in the title, ludicrous, But if you're looking for some throwaway fun where you don't have to think, you just have to be entertained, Snakes on the Plane ticks all those boxes. Number 5, The Conjuring. The Perron family move into a dilapidated Rhode Island farmhouse, and soon strange things start happening around it. In desperation, Caroline contacts the noted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren to examine the house. What the Warrens discover is a whole area steeped in satanic haunting that is now targeting the family. The Conjuring is a terrific movie. James Wan really knows what he's doing behind the camera, and he controls it and makes us feel every inch of atmosphere that's on screen. This is one of the most sustained moments of terror in the final third of the movie that refuses to let me look away. I am captivated when I watch this. This movie knows exactly what it's doing with the viewer, and it controls them like a puppet. It's terrifying, it's effective, and you get characters who you really don't want to see in any kind of danger, and two different kind of heroes that are really fun and engaging. Number 4, No Escape. A couple and their 2 daughters relocate to Asia only to find themselves caught in the middle of a dangerous coup. Realising that foreigners are being murdered on the spot, they make a desperate decision to escape the violence on the street and seek refuge at the American embassy, all the while trying to avoid detection by merciless rebels. No Escape is a terrific movie, and it's one that's easily bypassed. Owen Wilson plays the father of this family, Lake Bell plays the mother, and when the carnage kicks off on their second day there, their struggle to survival is one that you can't help but get behind. It is super thrilling, it is terrifying. The sheer brutality that happens at the start is nothing more than shocking, and to see this family put in peril, you really feel for them. You want them to get to safety. The movie knows what it's doing and does it very well. Number 3, The Handmaiden. A new girl is hired as a handmaiden to a Japanese heiress who lives a secluded life on a large countryside estate with her domineering uncle. But the maid has a secret. She's a pickpocket recruited by a swindler posing as a Japanese count to help seduce the lady to elope with him, rob her of her fortune and lock her up in a madhouse. The plan seemed to proceed accordingly, but soon it unravels. The Handmaiden is an amazing movie, and it's one of these ones that's told in a really interesting fashion. You get a half hour of the story and you believe you're getting one kind of story, then it kind of travels back in time and shows it from a different point of view, changing everything, twisting and turning it into something magical. And it does this a couple of times, offering up these unique surprises, these twists and turns, all the while creating really worthwhile characters who you can get behind or hate depending on their motivations. The Handmaiden is a twisted and just fantastically elaborate, stunning looking movie that's just pure entertainment. Number 2, Us. In order to get away from their busy life, the Wilson family take a vacation to Santa Cruz with the plan of spending time with their friends. On a day at the beach, their young son Jason almost wanders off, causing their mother Adelaide to become protective of her family. That night, 4 mysterious people break into the childhood home where they are staying. Us is a wonderful follow-up to Get Out. I don't think it's as good, but it has some great messages behind it. And the creep factor is really ramped up here by this home invasion that turns out to be something really surprising, really different and really twisted. Us is a movie that you'll probably go back to a couple of times to try and figure out the full story. There are a couple of moments that really break the down-to-earth and twisted fashion that it has, but ultimately it's a really inventive horror movie. Number 1, The Nightingale. Set in 1825, Claire, a young Irish convict woman, chases a British officer through the rugged Tasmanian wilderness, bent on revenge for a terrible act of violence he committed against her family. On the way, she enlists the services of an Aboriginal tracker named Billy, who is also marked from trauma from his own violent-filled past. The Nightingale is a stunning movie. Beautiful performances, it looks amazing, and it tells this tale of utter just destruction to one woman. Her life is turned upside down. There are several really disturbing scenes in this that fuel her anger and her purpose for revenge that are hard to get by. The antagonist, Sam Claflin, is one of the most horrible people I've seen on film recently, and you really want him to get his comeuppance all the way through this, as we watch Claire struggle to deal with grief while hell-bent on getting vengeance for the wrongs done to her. The Nightingale is an amazing movie, highly recommended. So there we have it, 10 movies from March 2021. I hope you find something there that you absolutely love, really enjoy, or hopefully nothing that ruins your evening. I'd love to know anyway. If there's anything I've missed off my list, let me know in the comment box, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.